I want to introduce our first speaker this morning, Todd Allyn. He's an associate professor of business and a professor. First thing this morning, that's pretty good. Business and economics. The host of the Todd Allyn Show on WINT Radio, 1330 AM. Now, prior to going back to the classroom, Todd served as the Dean of the College of Business and Assistant Professor of Finance and Management at Chancellor University, where he helped to develop the Jack Welch School of Management MBA program. Todd has vast business experience as an entrepreneur, consultant, former territory sales manager of a Global 200 company. Todd's appeared on the Trinity Broadcast Network, TBN, The Village Television, Bashir Jones and Company Morning Show, Cleveland Radio 1490. I gotta sound like a disc jockey. 1490 WERE and WEWS News Channel 5 in Cleveland as the Money Coach. He's the author of the book, And the Cattle upon a Thousand Hills, Money Management for God's People. Todd has a passion for excellence. He's given numerous presentations regarding the topics of wealth creation, leadership, entrepreneurship, and positive self-direction to people and organizations across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome Todd Allyn?
Outstanding. Good morning. Semper Fi. Any service people in the house, former or current? Thank you for your service. Semper Fi. Any moms in the house? Happy Mother's Day, and thank you. But we can't forget the fathers. Any fathers in the house? Thanks, Dad. Without you, all this couldn't be possible. Out of the night which covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole, I thank my God above for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloodied but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms yet the horrors of the shades, and yet the menace of years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, nor how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Now that poem means a lot to me because during the screening and evaluation process of the United States Marine Corps, AKA Uncle Sam's Muscle Club, it helped me through many a night that I realized that I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul, regardless of the circumstances that may be surrounding me. I thank the CCM leadership, John and Dan, for asking me to be on, and I really appreciate it, especially given the topic about why we need multiple streams of income. I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, this country looked a little bit different than it does today. Just slightly. It used to be that, well, I used to get whoopings. I don't know, they get time out today. Anybody remember the braided switch? My Aunt Betty at 4 o'clock, when it was time for her stories, we had to go to bed. We had to take naps. And if we didn't take a nap, my Aunt Betty would have a switch in a rocking chair, and she'd say, okay, well, there are consequences to your actions. And so that's how I grew up. I realized that there are consequences to my actions. And so when we say we need multiple streams of income, there are consequences to what's basically going on. Well, let's talk about it. Our federal debt right now is about 17 trillion. Federal debt. We have income of 16 trillion, which means that our debt to gross domestic product is about 107%, negative 107%. Now, that's significant to me because as an economics professor, I like numbers, facts, and figures. Although economics is not always about dollars and cents, it's about choices, it's about decisions. I'm what they call an Austrian economist. It's based upon behavior. So our behavior says that in this country today, we spend more than our income. But wait, there's more. Our national debt is $62 trillion in debt. $62 trillion. Did I just throw a wet blanket on this place? I'm sorry. I apologize. 62 trillion. But wait, there's more. Our unfunded liability, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, is, wait for it, $122 trillion. So if any of you are less than 50 years old, I appreciate the fact that you'll continue to work for me in my retirement. It may not be there when you get there, okay? So what this says is that we need, as American people, as people in the world in general, we need multiple streams of income. How do we do that? Well, we do that by joining organizations such as CCM, working with the leaders here, but there's an acronym that I call MONEY, M-O-N-E-Y. M, maximize your dreams. O, organize your life to overcome obstacles. N, network to net worth. E, enjoy life. And Y, yield added value to your family, your community, your nation. How do we do that? Well, we know that our actions justify, we all know that our actions typically tell people what we believe. For example, if I say that I want to learn how to speak Spanish and I don't take Spanish courses, I really don't believe that I can learn how to speak Spanish, right? I used to want to be able to dunk a basketball. That was about 140 pounds ago. All right? But I didn't do the exercises to be able to leap tall buildings at a single bound or jump through the gym or any of those things. So I didn't really truly believe that I could dunk a basketball because my actions didn't dictate that. So you can always tell what a person believes by their actions. If a person believes that they can create lifestyle for themselves by developing multiple streams of income, then their actions will dictate that. They'll start to maximizing their belief system, maximizing their dreams, whatever that dream might be. So when you maximize your dream, you're starting to operate in a sense that you can be able to create multiple streams of income. Does that make sense? All right. So we maximize our dream. Second, what do? We organize our life to overcome obstacles. One thing that the Marine Corps taught me is that you have to overcome, adapt, adjust. In some very weird situations, I'll have to tell you guys over a cup of coffee what some of those sea stories were. They're quite embarrassing. I'm sure that some of you in the military have had some of those. But you have to organize yourself to overcome obstacles, whatever that is. You don't always do that in a vacuum, though. You organize by getting with people who are of like-mindedness, okay? Getting with people who have the same value system, the same belief system, the same energy level that you do. There's a reason why eagles don't fly with ducks. There's a reason why eagles don't fly with ducks, okay? So we have to organize ourselves in people, places, things, situations which will help us to overcome obstacles. And then we have to network to net worth. Networking. Networking is not simply passing out a bunch of business cards and hoping that someone calls you. Networking is developing relationships, developing friendships, developing trusted relationships that can stand the test of time. My business partner and I drove down today, Reggie, and how I met Reggie was I had a tree that was cut down because my wife told me it had to get cut down, so I ended up cutting down the tree. But yet, there were a lot of pieces of wood just laying in the backyard, and I didn't know how in the world I was going to get rid of it. So I met this guy named Reggie, and he said, hey, I'll help you to get rid of the wood in your backyard. And he became my best friend since then because I could trust the guy. Usually if people say, I'll help you move or I'll help you lift some heavy stuff, that they'll tell you, yeah, I'll be there at 4, and then you don't see him for like a month. And then you'll see him in the gym and say, hey, dude, I thought you was going to help me out. He said, oh, bro, I forgot, my bad, right? And then that's it. But he actually followed through, he showed up, and he was there, and he's been my best friend ever since. In fact, I'm the godfather of his daughter now, Hannah, right? It's my buddy, he's my brother. And we network, and we have like-mindedness, and we're in business together, and sometimes it's like we're thinking the same things without even, he's clear across town, and we're thinking the same thing. But when you network with people like that, it makes things easier. It makes it easier to maximize your dream. It makes it easier to organize your life to overcome obstacles because we're networking to net worth. And then we have to enjoy our lives. We only go through this thing once. There are no do-overs. So we have to enjoy ourselves. How do we enjoy ourselves? Well, we don't become like Josh Gordon and get, kicked out of the league because, if he was at Denver, it'd be a different story. But now that he's in Ohio, he can't do those things. That's not the kind of enjoyment I'm talking about, okay? I'm talking about enjoying yourself to the point where you're giving honor to your family, to your friends, to your faith, okay? That you're enjoying life, that you're maximizing your efforts. That the one thing I tell my students in economics class is that one thing you cannot manage is time. People say, well, time management. No, you cannot manage time. That's a non-sustainable asset. The only thing that you can truly manage is your activities within that time. So we manage our activities. We manage our activities. We network to network. We manage the people, places, and things that we associated with, and we enjoy ourselves. And lastly, we yield added value. How do we yield value? How do we make people, organizations, places that we visit, how do we make them better? We do that by giving the very best of ourselves. We're in the moment. We're not thinking about where we're going to be 10 minutes from now, 15 minutes from now, an hour from now. We're in the moment. We're enjoying the moment, and we're yielding value to the place we are right now. Because after all, every minute, every second, every moment we have is a gift from the Almighty. Right? Okay. I hope I'm making sense. I get this a lot of times when I'm in my econ classes, because first of all, they're just amazed that when I walk into my econ classes 15 minutes late. So I'm actually early today. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. How'd that happen, right? When we look at the global situation, and I mentioned earlier, I talked about the U.S., we know that it's a global recession. We see that Greece is having problems, Portugal's having problems, Italy's having problems, Spain is having problems. So the global recession it's a terrible thing, but it's also an opportunity. Why? Because we're in direct selling, we're with CCM, we're with our leadership, this gives us an opportunity to not only help people, but to develop, to annuitize our income, basically. What does that mean? Well, we know that there are a lot of bad things that are happening throughout the world, but if we're able to add value to our fellow man, we become the trusted advisor. When situations and things get bad, they start to come to us and say, hey, look, can you help me out? Because they know your character. They know what you're capable of doing, that you're able to help them in situations, and so they're going to trust you and come to you, and that gives you opportunities that other people won't have. As long as you add value to people's lives, you'll always be needed. You'll always be needed, and that's the basic difference. How do you separate yourselves from the rest of the world, given all the problems that have taken place? Is that you be the go-to guy or the go-to lady. That you be the one to give them that word of comfort. You be the one to give them something that will help make their lives better. Because what Aristotle said is that we are what we continually do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. And it's our habits which ultimately form who we are and what we become. So create positive habits. Be happy every single day now. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. Or whatever your faith is. It's a day like no other day. There's only one you, and there's only one of this day. So be happy in it. Add value to people's lives. Maximize your dreams. Organize your life to overcome obstacles. Network to net worth. Enjoy life and yield added value. I appreciate your time. Thank you. I'm Todd Allyn, wishing you health, wealth, and prosperity.